this is Audrey. And the last time you joined us in our kitchen, we prepared a pasta alla matriciana for you. And this evening, we're going to prepare a cheese souffle. This cheese souffle is a bechamel-based cheese souffle, and the recipe has been handed down to me by my mother. So here we go. To start with, we're going to go over the ingredients. It's pretty simple for a bechamel-based cheese souffle. We have the Gruyère, which you can purchase pretty much anywhere, and we need to grate it. And we need, for this recipe, 100 grams of grated Gruyère cheese. Then we have 4 egg yellows, which I have put in a glass container separate from the egg whites, and you'll know why shortly. I personally prefer to use pasteurized eggs, but that's just my own personal choice. In here we have 150 grams of flour. These have, the measurements on here of course are in metric, because that's what we mostly cook with. This one here is a ½ liter of milk. So these are the ingredients, pretty simple. This is a casserole dish. They've been, my goodness, these were handed down to me by my mother. These were actually made in Belgium, and they're excellent. They've lasted this long. And this is about the size that we use to make a cheese souffle for 4 people. And what I've done here is I took a paper towel and I took some butter, and I basically wiped the inside of the casserole before I'm going to put the bechamel sauce in here. So before I even start making the roux, which is the beginning, which is butter and flour, and then by adding the milk to it, it becomes a bechamel sauce. But before I even start the process of making the bechamel sauce for the cheese souffle, I turn on the oven, and it has to go on to 375 degrees. So it has to be at the temperature that you need before you put your casserole in to start the cheese souffle. So this pot right here is a must in a kitchen in which you're going to prepare French dishes like coq au vin, bœuf bourguignon. I use this also for my bechamel sauce for the filling of my crepes, which will be another video that we will make for you, how to make French crepes. And my mother actually purchased this pot for me 40 years ago when I first left home, and it's still with me and still working really well. This pot is Le Creuset, and it's hand forged in France at Fresnoy-le-Roi. And when you purchase one of these, they're very expensive, so they last you a lifetime. It has to say on here, made in France. Otherwise, you're actually getting a knockoff, and you don't want that. So you want the real thing. Enamel cast iron Le Creuset. So here on the stove, I melted 125 grams of butter, and this will be the beginning of our sauce. And now I'm going to add the flour to the butter. By doing this, we're creating what we call a roux. Oh, yes, I need my white cloth as the handle is starting to get hot. So I still have the heat on. And I have the heat on about low, because we don't want to burn this, right? You don't want to burn your butter, but you do want it to get hot and cook. So now the flour has been absorbed into the butter. And now we're going to start adding the milk. So I add the milk a little bit at a time, because I do not want to end up with, as in German my mother used to say, klumpen, and I'm not thinking of the word I'm looking for right at this particular moment. You want a sauce basically that is Manuel, can you help me?
Smooth.
Smooth, that's it.
You don't want clumps.
That's it.
Hey.
Clumps. We don't want clumps in our bechamel sauce. And so we, a little bit at a time, gently, we kind of, and we have the heat on, like as I said, on low. You can see the heat. Okay, so we're almost at the end here. I'm adding the last bit of butter, sorry, the last bit of milk, and stirring our bechamel sauce so that you can see the consistency that you are looking for. So give this a really good stir. This is where you want to switch off the heat. And you can see that it's not liquidy. Okay, so this is the consistency that you're looking for. So we're going to move over. I'm just going to, at this point, we're going to add the 4 egg yellows into the sauce. And we're going to stir those in. Okay, so once your egg yellows are nicely stirred in, this is where you're going to season. And what we use for seasoning is nutmeg, salt, and pepper. Okay, so I go by feeling. I don't have a particular measurement for that. So I'm going to put this much salt. I like nutmeg very much, so that's the nutmeg. I also put nutmeg in my mashed potatoes. I love nutmeg. And then we're going to put some pepper. My husband loves pepper. And now we're going to stir this. And of course, at this point, usually what I do is taste it. Okay, so at this point, we're going to add some of the grated Gruyère cheese to the bechamel sauce because I want to keep some of it to put on the top of the soufflé. So now we're going to stir the cheese into the sauce. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add the egg whites. Now the egg whites, the way you want to add these to the sauce, so these are 4 egg whites. So we had 4 egg yellows and we're adding 4 egg whites. What's very important with your egg whites, before you beat them, you have to use a very clean container. And you cannot have any egg yellow in your egg whites before you beat them. And you always want to start beating the egg whites slowly and then gradually faster until you have a nice consistency. So I keep using my faithful wooden spoon. Other people may choose to use something else. But what you want to do is you want to fold it in. You don't want to stir it in. You want to gently fold it in.
The suspense is killing them. Would you like to say something else?
We're almost done here. I don't want the egg white to completely disappear, but this is basically what you want it to look like. So now we have to pour it into the casserole. So you'll have to give me a minute because this pot is really heavy and I'm going to need my husband to help me. So I'll be back in a second. So here the leftover Gruyère, grated Gruyère cheese goes on the top. Oops. Like so. Okay, now we're going to put it in the oven. See you in a few minutes. Actually, we're going to be putting it in the oven for approximately a half an hour. So 25 to 30 minutes. We'll see you then.
Vieni qua. Che facciamo le riprese. Vieni qua. No, tu.
And here's the soufflé ready to come out of the oven. The soufflé is out of the oven and I've already put it on our plates. So we're going to have some dinner. Usually what we like to serve with our soufflé is a nice side salad, a green salad, or some white asparagus. When it's in season, of course. So we're going to have a nice glass of wine, have some dinner. Please check out my blog post at travelswithaudrey.com for more information about the cheese soufflé and the ingredients list. Talk to you soon, and if you have any questions, please let me know. And of course, if you're going to try out this recipe, I would love for you to let me know how it turned out and if you enjoyed it. Ciao!